Hello and welcome. How to meditate. Someone wrote asking that I make a short video on simply how to meditate for their two sons, aged 14, whom are ordaining soon. And Anumodana for that. They will be instructed in meditation as they will Sila. And that's the first thing, Sila, keeping the 5 precepts as lay practitioners. And when they take their Pabaja ordination, which is novice ordination, they will be extending that to at least 10, if not the 75 training rules, where the supportive practices of living within monastic life are explained and taught and then practiced over however long they're ordaining for. And this is supportive of our meditation. So the first thing we must fully understand and know when wanting to meditate is that we must keep 5 precepts, refraining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, or taking intoxicants. That's the foundations, the basis for good meditation. Without that, we don't have a firm footing. Similarly, when we come to meditate, we at first need a relatively supportive environment. Now, not all of us can go off to a retreat centre, meditation centre, or for a retreat for any length of time, and may have to or need to find a little corner of our home, in our bedroom, or even if you're in a very, very busy household environment, an outbuilding somewhere, or even the bathroom is perfectly okay, where you can take a certain amount of time where you know you will be undisturbed, or at least, if not undisturbed by external sounds, at least left to your own devices. That is, to do what you're doing without having to reply. So nobody's going to be asking you questions or interrupting your meditation. If it's practical and it's acceptable for you to do so, you can mention to your people that you live with that you're going to be meditating for the next hour or so, so I'll not be replying to any of your questions or talking to you, and leave me in peace for that if you don't mind. And that's perfectly okay. So your external environment can be anything, really. You'll hear during the course of these instructions various background noises. I live in reality. I don't live in an artificially created meditation environment. I live in an existing building which was empty, that's been made ready and just about good enough for me to inhabit comfortably, but not too comfortably, just with the bare necessities that I need. And this is all you need for meditation. A little piece of floor, wherever it may be, and nothing else, just yourself. This is all that's required. It costs nothing, it doesn't run out, it uses no resources, it just needs a little bit of discipline and determination. There are no really specific instructions you need to learn or think about. Just give yourself time to sit and relax and do nothing. So we'll begin and see how it goes. Hopefully it will be self-explanatory. Put aside anything you may have thought of before in terms of techniques. We're not practicing anything you might have heard of like metta meditation or body scanning. There are other aspects of the practice, qualities that we develop. What we're doing here is learning how to meditate in order that we can ultimately enjoy samadhi leading to deeply absorbed states of meditation, jhana. Environment, your surroundings, where you're going to be sitting. So if at home is difficult, maybe go to a park or a pavilion or a beachside, somewhere in nature, where there is somewhere you can go and sit away from the crowds, away from the people, where you know you won't be disturbed for a certain amount of time. Devices, phones, anything like that should be turned off, or at the very minimum on aeroplane mode. So you'll receive no notifications, other than you may need to set a timer or something of that nature if you have engagements or duties, things to do later. If you don't, then just see how it goes. Now, once you've found your environment that's safe, you'll be relatively undisturbed for the next 40 minutes or so. You need to bring your attention to your own posture. The Buddha explains that posture is only as important in that it is really easiest to attain to samadhi in the sitting posture. But the practice of mindfulness, which is what we're actually doing, sati, samasati, is practiced whether sitting, standing, walking, or lying down, covering all postures that the human form can take. For purposes of this meditation, we're looking to it leading to samadhi and jhana. We would be looking at sitting meditation, the sitting posture. And this is best and most easily done sitting on the floor, if you can. If you can't, then whatever stool, not comfortable chair, it doesn't need a back or arms to lean on or lean one way or the other, where you can just sit upright as close to as if you were sitting on the floor as possible. Now, everyone can do this. Everyone can sit on the floor. I didn't start meditation until I was in my 40s, and I'd been sitting in comfortable chairs all of my life, other than when I was a very young child at nursery school, when I might have had to sat on the floor. So it wasn't comfortable at first, but I practiced by sitting on the floor all of the time, eating, watching television, working, whatever I was doing, on the floor rather than on chairs. And then for meditation time, when it came to that, I was more easily and readily available to sit on the floor comfortably without having to fidget around. So use all of your time to practice the posture by just sitting on the floor for everything you do, playing with the children, doing your homework if you're young, doing your work you need to do on your emails and your laptops. Okay, it's not as comfortable as your ergonomic chair sitting at your desk in your study, but you're looking to develop your meditation practice and be able to sit for that meditation practice for long lengths of time without the additional accessories, the worldly accoutrements that one might have about the home that you might not necessarily have all of the time when you want to meditate. And you'll only do this through practice. That's why I say as many times as you can, as often as you can, use the floor. It's there. Now, in Asia, where they generally are sitting on the floor most of the time anyway, they don't have this problem. They don't have this obstacle, physical obstacle to overcome. So assuming you've been practicing and you can sit on the floor, this is the best place to be sitting because it requires nothing else. It means you can go to that park, you can meditate on the railway station platform or the airport concourse. It doesn't matter where you might be. You can sit and you can enjoy meditation. No cushions, no stools, nothing is necessary. I have a concrete floor here, there is a grass mat and a thin piece of cloth, that's all. Now, our posture should be one that's upright and awake. Now, what I mean by that is, if we're slouched over like this or drooping like that or anything like this, we're not going to stay awake. So we need to be alert. It isn't always necessarily the most comfortable posture at first, but it does become so. after some time, when the body settles and becomes used to it. You'll see from where I'm sitting at the moment, my knees are pretty much on the floor. When you start, your knees might be somewhere up here, because it takes a while for your pelvis to open so that they can relax and also feel more comfortable and cut off less blood supplies or nerve end supplies or whatever in your bottom thighs and calves. But this takes time and practice. Be patient. It's not long, 6 months to a year, and you'll be sitting like this. It's all it takes, even if you're in your 40s and you've never sat on the floor before. That's from my own experience. Of course, any underlying health conditions have to be taken into account, and you must seek medical advice where it's necessary to do so. Now, I'm sitting in what they call here at the moment the Burmese posture, which is with my right leg in front of my right calf in front of my left shin. My bottom cheeks, 2 bottom sides, are sat on the floor. So the sides of my lower legs, that is, your calves, shins, are just resting on the floor. My knees resting on the floor. My thighs resting on my floor. A lot of my legs, nothing is crossing. I may look like I'm cross-legged, but nothing is crossing. One leg is in front of the other. So you just fold your left leg, your heel into your crutch. And your right leg just gently fold the calf, the shin, the lower leg, place it in front of the left leg. This is where you can begin. If you're able to do so, then you can put the right foot on the left thigh. This means that the right knee, the left knee, and the bottom form a tripod at 3 points of contact with the ground, and just your thighs are gently supporting the rest of the weight. It's very balanced, you can't fall over, and in fact it's easy to maintain for long lengths of time without numbness, without pins and needles. Now I know you'll be asking, well, when I sit like that I get numbness, I get pins and needles. That's because you're not sitting like this. You're sitting in some other way. So, as I said, you just literally sit with your right calf, your shin in front of your left calf and shin, lower leg, and then you just put the right foot on top of the left thigh. You should be wearing loose-fitting clothing, something like what you might wear at night time when you go to sleep, pyjamas or something of this nature, or what you might wear to the gym, something like that. Because not lycra, not all of this tight-fitting stuff, because it's going to cut in, it's going to cause creasing, it's going to make it less comfortable for sitting long lengths of time. So if you can wear some just loose, very loose fitting, very thin materialed bottom half and upper half, it's enough. And then the posture of the body should be upright and alert. And what I mean by that is your spine, which is the sort of central part of us, linking everything all together, the whole physical body, and what we talk about in that sense of our body is connected to our heads and also supporting our heads through this very important structure, the spine. And that needs to be as straight as it is possible for it to be so. And sit upright so that when you are comfortable, and take as much time as you possibly need to get this posture right before you are able to really begin your meditation. Even if you spend the meditation period that you have, the time you have, just getting the correct posture comfortable for you, that's more important than wasting that time fidgeting around and getting into bad habits with a posture that doesn't support your meditation. You cannot meditate if you're not comfortable. So learn how to get comfortable. You need to have precepts all in order. You need your body to be physically able to do it and supported by it being comfortable to do so. Wearing sufficient loose clothing, then your chin can be tucked in slightly. This stretches the neck up at the back a little bit, but tucking the chin in slightly, with your ear in line with your shoulder in line with your elbow. This goes for both sides. So ears in line with your shoulders, shoulders in line with your elbows, and your elbows in line with your hips. A straight line down. This means your spine is straight. And then your left hand on your lap, it's actually on the sole of my right foot there, and your right hand on top of that. If you want to see this a little bit more detail, you can watch the video I've got on this channel, How to Sit. If you search that, it shows you exactly how I'm sitting like this. Resting your right hand on your left palm. Your thumbs can just be gently touching. This is no specific or particular reason or method or technique. This is just naturally how your hands fall. And then, when you've adopted this posture, then, with your eyes still open and fully awake, move around and just wiggle and wiggle and wiggle for as long as you have to, as I'm doing here, to let everything just fall into its natural sitting place. Like if you put a bag of sugar or bag of rice or bag of dal on the floor, what happens? It kind of just rolls over, doesn't it? So what you do is you get the bag of rice or you get the bag of dal or the bag of sugar and you sort of blub, 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 like it lets on the floor. So the bottom flattens and some of the rice or dal sinks to the bottom and fills out the corners, and it gets a nice firm basis to be balanced. Yes? So think of yourself as a skin sack of bones and horrible things that needs to just settle into its place for meditation. Now, I don't know how long this has been, but as you can see, we've already spent 10 or so minutes maybe just on thinking about how our environment, our surrounding is going to affect the next 20 minutes or 40 minutes meditation. Where we're sitting is going to affect it. And then getting our body in a position to enjoy it. And that's the emphasis must be on enjoying it. You're not performing yogic feats of endurance. You're going to enjoy meditation. It isn't an enduring practice, it's an enjoyable practice. At first, yes, it takes some discipline and patience with yourself and determination and a little endurance, but try and save a lot of that stretching and practicing of sitting on the floor for outside of the meditation time, whilst you're watching TV, which is a fruitless exercise, but if you're using it to sit on the floor and sit upright and awake with the distraction of the TV or whatever it might be, then at least you're doing something good with your body, which ultimately is going to benefit your mind. At the same time as doing something that's not so good, but it doesn't matter. It's not morally wrong, but it isn't meditation. But it's supporting your meditation because you're using that time to stretch the body, get it used to sitting on the floor upright, like the bag of rice. Sounds like the train in the background there, you will too have sounds, not so much sights, because you're going to, in a while, close your eyes. But you'll hear things in the house, you'll hear things in the neighborhood, you'll hear things close and distant. Temperature, everything that you hear, you see, hear, smell, taste and touch will be, in a way, drawing your attention to it, distracting you. No more so than will thinking, thoughts that will arise, stay a while and go away, or link to another thought, a chain of thoughts, creating This often referred to as monkey mind. A monkey here, or monkeys here, they jump from one coconut tree to another coconut tree all over the place via bashing down on my roof. They're always jumping from one thing to the next, as do our thinking brains. Now, we're not trying to tame that monkey, those monkeys. We're going to allow them to naturally, of their own accord, as one has to do here, let them just, once they've done their running around, settle down, as is their nature to do so, in due course. But in the meantime, we can observe them, see what the cause is of them. So we've got our body and our environment all in place, ready for meditation. And having done so, we make the determination to put mindfulness, keep mindfulness at the foremost in front of us and as the most important task for the next period of time, meditation time, 40 minutes or whatever it might be. Samasati, right mindfulness. And the way we practice this whilst meditating is we will be using that mindfulness to maintain focus on just one thing, a meditation object. And for that, we're going to use breathing, something very simple that we're doing all of the time. We've been doing it since the day we were born until the day we die. Nothing new. Now, not breathing in any special way and not concentrating in any special way, but just being mindful, knowing that we're breathing in and we're breathing out. This is all that's required. No tensing up of the forehead, trying to focus on some central point in a fictitious, imagined area, giving yourself a headache. No. Just enjoying this posture we've established on the floor here, relaxed, allowing yourself time for the body to relax, and just bringing your awareness to breathing. This will be the meditation object. So now we'll begin. Having established your posture, gently closing your eyes, breathing in deeply through your nose, filling your lungs with air, and breathing out 2 or 3 times, deep breaths in, just to get the idea, the feeling of breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. A little artificially at first, breathing in deeply and breathing out again. Not thinking about it in any way other than you're breathing in and you're breathing out. And then having done this, sitting upright with your ears in line with your shoulders in line with your elbows in line with your hips. Your chin is tucked slightly in. Gently, your eyes closed but not squeezed tight. You'll have light from the surroundings. If it's dark, you'll still have visionary light, imaginary light, sparkles or stars or images. Pay no attention to these and relax your face. Breathing in and breathing out. Now, before we begin, with an open mind, notice If there are any areas in the body causing you discomfort or even pain that might need to be addressed, moved, and make any adjustments, however slight, but just make them now whilst you can. And notice most of the body is comfortable, content, and relaxing your face around, firstly around your eyes, your mouth, your lips should be closed, your teeth not touching necessarily, your jaw just relaxed, around your temples, cheeks. Now, however long you've determined to meditate for, we're now going to make the determination to not think deliberately about anything we have been doing up to now, that is in the past. And to not think deliberately about anything we're going to be doing after meditation, that is in the future. Knowing that everything that has been done in the past cannot be changed, but remains in the past. And the future is yet to be seen and can only be imagined. What we have is here and now, in this present moment, in each and every breath. As we breathe in, we notice the whole body of air inhaling deep into our lungs. As we breathe out, that same volume of air exhaled into the environment. And sounds may be heard, smells, even reminiscent tastes, physical feelings, all such senses, lights, just known, observed. Seeing is seeing, hearing is hearing. Seeing light, hearing sound, smelling odours, tasting tastes, feeling temperature. A thought may arise, and you may find yourself thinking about a subject. Relax your face, reminding yourself regularly, relaxing your face allows you to notice tension, subtle tensions you weren't aware had built up, both of the body and mind. Relaxing your face, This softens that tension. You can breathe in, noticing the breath, breathing out, noticing the breath. There's nothing to think about. Nothing to do. Notice the temperature of the air as you're breathing it in. And comparatively to the temperature of the air as you exhale. The subtlety in that exhalation is unnoticeable against the body. Relax your face. And know the breath. Continuous mindfulness of breathing in, breathing out, needing to focus, bringing all of your conscious awareness to that object only. Sounds are apparent, can be heard without consideration. Nothing will disturb you. Just lean on the breath. Relax your face. Breathe. When you hear sounds, let them be. Relax your face, breathe. If a sound disturbs you, no, it's now. The sound is in this present moment. Now. It's not from the past. It's not in the future. Only recollections are that. The sounds are impermanent. They've gone, come and go. The breath remains present, your object of attention, focus. However subtle it may be, it is there, consistent. Relax your face. Breathe. Find yourself thinking about anything at all. No, it's either from the future, imagined, or in the past, just memory. It's gone, it's over, or it hasn't happened. And relax your face. Breathe. You can sit like this for as long as you wish. Relax your face. Breathe. Mindfulness of this breath is bringing your conscious awareness into the body, into the present moment, into reality. Nothing illusionary, just truth. By this, we're letting go of everything that's happened in the past. We're letting go of our wanting to be, to become in the future. Letting go of our preferences and aversions. Accepting breath as being here, now, and our everything. Nothing, no things you need to be thinking about, no things needing contemplation, consideration, no things. There is nothing. All you need is breathing, safety, comfort, but in this situation, the breath is also your refuge, your anchor, your seclusion, your place of safety. Consistently there, to the very end. Without exception. It will continue throughout all of your daily activities of body, of speech and mind. Ever present, always your refuge. Enjoy the comfort of this, whilst enjoying the physical refuge of just that of sitting and doing nothing. No need to move, adjust, just relax your face. Notice if the eyes have tensed, the jaw has clenched. Relax your face and breathe. And hopefully you can Allow yourself plenty of time for just this activity of non-activity. No listing of this and that. That can be done on other occasions. Or better still, done in reality towards others. For real in their presence, not imagined. Just leave that for now. Just relax your face and breathe. Now, without me disturbing you, you continue this for as long as you possibly can, or as long as you have time for, each and every day. It becomes more and more natural, more and more enjoyable. As you very gently open your eyes, you'll see how bright but clear everything is. But again, breath, relax your face, breathe. It may take some time to bring your meditation time to an end, but not your meditation to an end. You can continue with the mantra in your mind. Relax my face, breathe. Relax my face, breathe. For as often as you need to remind yourself throughout the day, all of your waking hours, that it is all you need to do to find contentment, and as a result of contentment, happiness. There's no intellectual, no physical or financial requirements, or even location-based needs to this activity. It's free and yours. Make it part of your natural daily activities, like cleaning your teeth or going to the toilet, as essential as eating. Food for the body, meditation for the mind. Is all we need. Waterfalls and peaceful, picturesque environments are nice. But when we close our eyes, relax our face and breathe, there is nothing. Nothing else. Secluded from sense consciousness. Secluded from desire, from aversion, awake and alive through this interaction of energetic breath. The breath is our energy, it's where our energy is coming from. Without thinking of the past, without thinking of the future, there can be no doubt in this present moment, here and now. No doubt that this is the only peace, because it's the only reality. Lack of peace is through imagination, recollection of the past, ill-founded memory, and imagination of the future. Wrong anticipation. But what we can know is what we're witnessing here in this present moment, in each breath. What we can know is our face. It's tensing, it's tight. Let it relax. This non-activity is restorative. You'll need less sleep. It's cooling. I haven't got the fan on, but it's 40-something degrees. I'm sweating, it's natural. But I feel cool. My mind isn't rushing here and there. If our minds are rushing here and there, it's into the past, it's into the future. Our breath, the anchor, is bringing us now into this present moment. Calm waters. It's very difficult to, without a timer or something to signify the end of your meditation, to bring yourself out of the meditation. You can, now we're continuing with those instructions, before the meditation, maybe chant a few words of your choice, either reflections on the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, or anything that helps you just delineate the time for meditation from the rest of the day. And at the end, a simple chant such as Sabbe Sata Sukhi Hotu, meaning may all beings be happy and well, is enough to delineate the beginning of the next part of your day. But continuing with that practice, that meditation, practicing samasati, right mindfulness, throughout all of your daily activities. Not intellectually, I'm being mindful of this, I'm being mindful of that. No, just really keep watching the breath when you're not focused on something else. But when you need to be focused on something else, that task in hand alone. Similarly, not thinking of the past, not thinking of the future, but what you're doing in the here and now. It is all we have, both in meditation and outside of meditation. This is why we're practicing in all postures of sitting, standing, walking, lying down. A moment without mindfulness is a moment of not practicing. Even with precepts and generosity, if we're not mindful, then those are perfunctory forms of activity, rote habits, and therefore not understood. Their activities performed with either hope for something to happen in the future or to extinguish regret from the past. But what we're doing in the present moment should be done for the enjoyment of that here and now in the present moment. If you're giving, if you're practicing devotional activities, for nothing more than now. How enjoyable it is to do so. So this is always meditating. We are always meditating. After our retreat, after our sitting formally in meditation, and before our next retreat and before our next sitting formally in meditation, we're relaxing our face, breathing, knowing this is the present moment, here and now. I hope that's just touching the surface of meditation, but also you don't need to delve deep into anything else about meditation. If you're doing that and just that, you will explore the depths of your mind, the depths of samadhi, and experience the depths of jhana. For yourself, for real, in the present moment. Everyone has that opportunity through simply this activity. And that is, along with precepts, the whole of the practice of the Noble Eightfold Path. Because it in itself naturally leads to insight or clear seeing, vipassana, the reality and nature of all things, the characteristics of existence, wisdom, sila, samadhi, panya is Buddhism, is Buddhist practice. And what we've just been doing there is Buddhist meditation, which you can do anywhere. Be happy and stay well. Until next time, Sukhi Hotu.